let us reflect on the unique nature and shape of their relationship. Their generous spirits, their shared sense of adventure, their wicked humor, their open hearts, their radiant children, their rich history and communities, their love of beauty, depth, and complexity, whether it be art, food, wine, or puzzles. Their love is self-aware and honest, affectionate and deeply respectful, soft with a sharp edge. In the light of that love, please everyone, let us pause to think about the people we hold dear in our own lives. Let us all rededicate ourselves to cherishing those dear ones, to showing them our love every day. And may we all be the richer for having shared this day and this journey together. Let us begin with a story about David, told by Lori Garber, David's sister.
Hello. Well, David was a much better big brother than I deserved. And even though I was the pesky younger sister, 2 years his junior, he never said no, he never excluded me, he never said you can't. I think he was a feminist before he knew what that word meant. And even as a kid, I wanted to be around David because that's where the fun was. He made the party. And there's a coffee table actually that's up here in this house now that made an awesome Death Star rebel base for our endless reenactments of the Star Wars movies. And a full set of action figures and the soundtrack playing on the vinyl LP we had. And later, in high school, there were David's mini poker parties with his Geek Squad friends down in the basement, gathered around our ping pong table, listening to the Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, The Who, and I, who was much cooler and way more fashionable than these dorks in my basement, still found myself drawn down there to hang out because that's where David was, and it was a lot of fun. And I think many of you know that whatever project or hobby David is getting into, he shares with others, and his enthusiasm is so infectious. And for those of you that were around during David's college and early post-college years, you probably came to a tie-dye party at David's and you went home with some stylish clothes. And David, of course, couldn't stop at the t-shirts and, you know, created an entire wardrobe of tie-dyed socks and handkerchiefs and sweatpants and, yes, underwear. It's true. Not pretty, but true. And David, whatever he does, he always scales it up and spreads the love. Like when he learned how to make pesto for himself. Like, he didn't just think, oh, that's good, maybe I'll make that again sometime. Maybe serve it at a dinner party. No, he thinks, everyone must have pesto. And he goes to a farm and he comes home with 20 pounds of basil and a giant full-size wheel of Parmesan, literally gallons of olive oil, and way more garlic than should ever be in one place at one time. And he gathered his friends over for the first of many pesto making parties that filled our freezers with this tasty spread and gave us all a reason to gather and be together. And David sees opportunity in everything. Over the years, he'd been to team puzzle hunts with his friends, and he saw the potential fun that he could create for his own children and their friends. And I'm just going to stop and pause and address the non-geeks in the crowd and explain what a puzzle hunt is. It's essentially a party, and there are teams who work together to solve various puzzles, like crosswords or cryptograms or wordplay, number, or logic puzzles. And they combine it with a treasure hunt so that, you know, the answer to one puzzle leads you to the next clue, and on to the meta puzzle at the end for the finale. And yes, I said meta. And David takes this idea and he adds a kid-friendly storyline of little people who live here down by the lake, and they need to get past the goblins up to their summer home. Yes. And the kids have to work together to solve puzzles to get them there. And so the first kid puzzle hunt was born, the first of many. And David just knows how to make everything fun. Math, for instance. Who knew that you could get over 100 kids together on a Friday night and that they would be pumped up and excited to do math puzzles? Well, David knew that, and he shared his creativity and his brilliance to create the math adventure events. And while David's the mastermind and the ringleader for these things, he doesn't do it alone. He brings together his entire family and friends and neighbors and community to work together. Everyone has a role. So I, for one, would not be able to keep up with David and everything that he does. So I was beyond thrilled when I met Noelle, who not only keeps up, but ups the game. She has that same infectious enthusiasm that draws people to her, and she builds community wherever she goes. She is all in. And with Noelle on the scene, the puzzle hunts and the math adventures have better props. They're more artistic. They have a lot more pop culture references. And they are significantly better organized. And with Noelle on the scene, David is a very happy man. So they are an amazing team, Noelle and David. And we are so happy that you found each other.